Shout out to Emma Chamberlain. Like, what am I talking about again? The 31-year wedding anniversary. Whoop, whoop. Shout out to Emma Chamberlain. You know who Emma Chamberlain is? Epic YouTuber. And yeah, she makes coffee and sells coffee mugs. I got in on it, I know. She's like my daughter's age and I think she's amazing. So I do watch Emma Chamberlain. Today, I took notes. These are my little notes to try to stay on track. However, I can't read the notes without my glasses, and then when I wear my glasses, there's a bit of a glare sometimes. So I am here to talk about being married for 31 years. I just celebrated with Motorcycle Man our 31st wedding anniversary. We got married on May 22nd, 1993. I was 23, he was 23. We were both 23 when we got married. And that's pretty young because RJ's gonna be 23 next March. So that's crazy to think about. We got married at 23 in 1993. Okay, now it's flowing. And just, it's amazing. It's amazing because when we got married, I remember little phrases like, just, cherish all the moments because the days are long and the years are short. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Well, guess what? Those wise oracles that spoke those words were correct. I don't even know how I got to be here right now at age 54, married for 31 years with 3 grown adults. How does that happen? We decided to go away. I'm starting to bounce my knee because I always have nervous anxiety. So then the camera's going, just calm down. You don't need to be bouncing your knee. It's been something I've done since a teenager. I always have to have some movement going. Just take a second. I am feeling better. I was a little down in the dumps. May really threw it at us. There was a lot going on, a lot of good, a lot of unexpected, not so good, but it's okay. Motorcycle Man reminds me this is life, and the bad things that happen or the unexpected things that happen make us stronger. Like, what am I talking about again? The 31-year wedding anniversary. That's what I'm talking about. Being married for 31 years with my notes. And we decided we were gonna go to Solvang. And we both had agreed on that, which was really cool. And so we got an Airbnb, booked that, got that all situated just like 2 weeks before our anniversary because we never planned super ahead. Not one of our strong suits, but we usually figure something out. So that works out. Anyway, we went to Solvang and we got the little Mini Cooper packed up. That's what I drive, is a Mini. And I call her Heidi. And I even, as we were packing her up and putting our stuff in there, I tapped her little hood and I said something like, Heidi, are you ready for this trip? And she usually doesn't answer back, but anyway. We got ready to go, and Motorcycle Man says, you're driving, you drive better in traffic, you are more comfortable when you drive, you're driving. That sort of threw me back for a moment. I was like, what? I'm driving this long trip? Like, I spoke my piece. I was like, Rich, like, you're the long distance driver, not me. Anyway, we get in the car, and I go to start Heidi, and she doesn't start. Isn't that crazy? And then he said, Tracy, did you put a hex on this so you didn't have to drive? I was like, no. No, I don't know how this is happening, but it's happening. So we had to take everything out of little Mini and put it into the big 1F50 truck. And he knows I will not drive his truck. I do not like to drive the truck. So at that point, he was the driver. I don't even know how that happened, but it happened, and I don't know. God is good, that's all I gotta say. So he drove. Heidi was not ready for the road trip. She decided to have a dead battery, so plan B is the truck. But I don't know if that was so much good because it was a lot of traffic. We got off to a late start because of the battery in my car not turning over, and then we couldn't go straight to the freeway because he had problems with his truck and he needed some cap for his coolant that was leaking. Yeah, no joke, we are at AutoZone, not even out of town yet, because Rich needs a cap for his radiator or something or another, because it's leaking fluid. So he's getting more fluid in a cap because his truck was in the shop getting new tires. So we have new good tires.
And because it was
oh yeah, you can see that.
But I don't know if the cap's fine and there's a crack around the base of this or somewhere, then this cap ain't gonna do anything for that.
And we got a late start, so that meant traffic was just accumulating and accumulating, accumulating. And so we got to sit, and would have been just over a 3-hour drive turned into a 5-hour drive. And you know, so we got to the place, and I don't know how I'm gonna explain, like I'm explaining the story now. Am I gonna just put in little blippets of everything I filmed? I'm not even sure how this is gonna go, but let me show you a little tour of the cute little Airbnb. We're here. Look at that, Rich can play the piano. This is quite adorable. Look at that cute touch. There's a water feature. That's our area. Back here. On the toilet paper, that seal, I was like, dang, that just, wow. And she left a bottle of wine for us. We actually didn't drink it. I wasn't sure if I'd like it. It was kind of like a light red, and I didn't want to open a bottle and not like it and waste it, so we didn't do that. We went to the grocery store because we were tired after that long drive and everything that didn't go right on the way there. We decided to go to a local grocery store and pick up some things and just eat in at this cute little cottage. Might as well take advantage of this sweet place that we're staying. And we got some stuff to eat, and you can see here, I'll show you what we ate. Wasn't that exciting? Some sushi and half, like a sandwich we split. What else was there? And the egg flour soup and just, you know, little this and that. So we watched a little television, got up early, not that early, we always sleep in. I don't know why I said early, because we're sleep-inners mostly. And so we slept in, the bed felt like fluffy clouds. Like, I don't know what it's like to lay in clouds, but whenever I'm in an airplane and I look down, I was like, man, they just look so like, I just wanna, just lay in those clouds. That's what the bed felt like, so that was good. The first day is in Solvang. So we go to Solvang, we just bebop around there, ate breakfast there, had a really nice breakfast. Then we ended up in Los Olivos, and I liked that town much better than Solvang. Solvang is definitely touristy, and a lot of the little surrounding towns actually are up there, including Los Olivos, but it just has more, just like a cooler vibe to me, the Los Olivos. And while we were in that city, we stumbled upon this super epic garden store where we actually ended up buying our gift for each other. Every time we go away on an anniversary, we find something to bring back that will last, hopefully mostly forever, and that we can look back on and say that was from, you know, this anniversary when we were here or there. So we got some little cute glass wind chimes that are all hearts, and I'll show you because I already hung it in the backyard. Let me show you. Here are the glass wind chimes. Is there a better angle I can show you? That's the glass wind chimes. They're really beautiful. They had a little gazebo in the garden with all of these wind chimes and a lot of those glass wind chimes, and I just sat in a little chair underneath that gazebo for a moment and just listened to those wind chimes, and I want to show you that too. after that, after the garden, we stumbled upon an arts and crafts fair. Because although they usually have the very, touristy shops with just, mass-produced junk, to me, I didn't want any of that. So in Solvang, we went into one of those stores and I was like, why would I want anything here? I want something that's made with love and that there's quality and craftsmanship behind. It's just how I roll. I like to support the artist always. I will always support an artist. So I got Isn't This Beautiful? And not only did she hand make this in this beautiful, all these colors, she also was with those wheels, hand spinning her yarn. I was like, okay, this was not cheap, but what? But guess what? I think that the love and the attention and the craftsmanship deserves it. So I was like, if I'm gonna spend any kind of money, it's gonna be here with you. I chatted with her for a moment and she told us, if you're not from around here, it's worth a 10-mile drive down more north to see another town called Los Alamos. And so we took her advice and did that. We went to Los Alamos next. And we walked around that town and there was supposed to be this big epic antique store in a warehouse. And it still said that and we parked there, but when we walked in, it was a bar. It had been converted to a bar. So the whole reason we went, and I'm sure she doesn't know it's not there anymore either, that huge epic, antique mall is gone. But we still walked around the town. It was super cute. There was like an old motel. They even had their own library, a little free library in front of the hotel. And there was this Victorian house that was an Airbnb that was really cool. And when we were seeing that house, we looked over and saw a VW van that was super rad. And the lady that owned the van came out and she had like a VW tattoo. She didn't just own that cool van. She owned like one or two other more and also a VW Bug. Just wanted to put a little bit of that in here of her chatting. So when you meet someone who is an enthusiast, it's just fun to talk to them.
Yeah, the buses are cool.
The 60 is my daily driver. It's actually a truck. It's a single cab. And
right.
The 63 is a double cab Volkswagen truck. And then the other one's a bus like this one.
That was a fun interaction. We ended up at a small wine tasting place called A Tribute to Grace, and we had some Grace wine. And to be honest, the only reason I wine tasted there is because of the name of the place. And it was all made with Grenache. I think they said Grenache grapes, which was very different for me and not typically probably the kind of wine I am attracted to. I like a heavier wine and it was all more light on the lighter side, but it was still fun and a great experience. And then that night for our big fancy restaurant outing, we went to a place called the Hitching Post. We're eating at the Hitching Post. And the Hitching Post was in the movie Sideways, which if you've ever seen it, I haven't even seen it, but it's a wine, it was mostly filmed where we were staying in that whole surrounding areas. It was filmed. And so someone had said that was part in the movie. So we went there, had, our steak dinner and our just like little fancy dinner there, and ended back at the place. And what did we do? Yeah, we just went to bed. Yeah, we were tired after that long day. We went to bed. I say the very last day when we woke up, we wanted to walk to the bakery that was just literally like just 3 houses down from where we were staying, the cottage we were staying, and it was called Bob's Well Bakery, and it was super cute. And we started our day at the bakery, and then that was the day I wanted to go thrifting. I was like, let's find all the thrift stores in this area and check it out. There weren't a lot, but we did find some, and guess what? This dress I'm wearing is one of the purchases. It was $6 on sale, 50% off for $3. So it was so me, and it was so cheap, and so many of the things in that area were expensive, and I am not one to spend a ton of money on things unless, maybe I do, but nowadays, like I see price tags and I'm like, what the world? What? Who is buying these things and where are they making their money? I can't afford a lot of it these days, but I did get this dress. And at the same time, Rich got a Frank Sinatra CD. Whenever we go into thrift stores, he always walks over to the music, and he got a Frank Sinatra CD to go perfectly with his, I can't think of, he had bought another CD on another trip, another one of the Rat Pack. Can't think of who it was. Dean Martin?
What the heck?
Hold on a moment. I'm running out of battery. Okay. You know, it's cool. I have a backup battery. Yeah, that's comes in handy. So backup battery in, where was I? We were thrifting. We also wanted to go wine tasting. I should say I had all these things I wanted to do, but he is always so willing to do whatever I want to do. I wanted to go to a winery, not just a wine tasting room. I wanted to sit at a winery. And we had been on a trip with some good friends, like, gosh, I'm going to say like close to 20 years ago. Time flies. Maybe it was less, but all I can say is this, that we had to go to Firestone Winery because at the time we were watching The Bachelor, and this Firestone guy was the Bachelor of the time. And so at whenever, how many years ago that was, we had to go to that winery. So we decided, for old time's sake, let's just check out Firestone. And we walked in and we let her know, you know, that story. And then the person said, oh, well, yeah, he didn't marry the girl and his kids are now in high school. And I was like, dang, yeah, that just, time flies. But we had our little wine tasting. They had live music. And you know what I loved most? And I didn't film it because I didn't think it was, you know, some things I just don't think are appropriate to film. Sometimes it's just better to take it in with your own eyes. But we were sitting there with this live music and enjoying our wine tasting. And there was these 4 older women. And I don't know, maybe I'm out of line by calling them crones, but we do love that term. I love that term because I can't wait to be an old crone. That they had their gray hair, cowboy boots, they were wine tasting, and they would get up and just dance. And there was at one point where just one of the 4, all by herself, got up and danced to a whole song. And I thought, that is so rad. That is so rad. Like, I want to get to that age where I'm like, I don't care who's looking, I'm gonna dance. So that was cool to take in. And then pretty much the weekend was gone after that. You know, we ended up back at the place. We had leftovers from the night before. We watched like 6 episodes of Psych, which is crazy. We used to love that show. Every time we go on an anniversary weekend, we tend to, usually it's an Airbnb we stay at, and they usually have a streaming, you know, something streaming. So it's not regular TV, and we will find something. And one time it was like Seinfeld over and over, and one time it was Little House on the Prairie, and then this time it was Psych. So that was fun. Anyway, that was about it for our trip. We came home. Traffic home was way better than traffic there because we left, you know, kind of like about 8 in the morning. Drove, you know, it was slightly raining when we left, which I always love. I love a little bit of rain, and that was pretty much our whole epic trip. And I'm just thankful that I have been married for 31 years to my best friend, which I will say is amazing.